And we'll do it live. We'll do it live. The war, Elon's war against America continues. Elon's war against America. Elon Musk has declared war against the American people, against the American worker, and white people in particular. I don't want to just make this about white people, but I kind of am because that's the lens at which I look through it. But he's basically screwing over all of America. But I'm looking at through it from this lens. And if you're not white and you're black or something and you want to help me destroy Elon Musk's companies, then I welcome that. Now, I just want to tell you that Elon Musk, if you're a black American, that is, Elon Musk or Hispanic American, Elon Musk Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy are now blaming the U.S. government. And this is a little trick that they use. He says, so here's the Vivek guy. See, they're all trying to get off this. They want to get off this subject now, and we're not going to let them because remember, they said they wanted a war. Elon Musk said he wanted a war, right? So when he said he wanted a war, I formed the White Communist Party. And the White Communist Party is a white working class party, and our Führer is Jesus Christ, the light bearer. So that's who our leader is. And we're not Marxist, and it's not some orthodoxy where we have to listen to what Karl Marx says because we don't care what Karl Marx says because we're the Spartans and we invented it anyway. Karl Marx just tried to copy some of our stuff. So I was talking to my friend today, and he was telling me about how some guy over in England made a joke. He was like making jokes on the internet. You probably remember this guy. He made a joke and he had that little pug and he made the little joke with his dog. And it was just a cute, funny little joke. But some people got so offended by it that they had the guy arrested and put in prison, or in jail, right? We served time in prison. And my buddy was telling me about this, and I'm like, I know, it's ridiculous. I'm like, the guy went to jail. He's like, I know. He said, they're communists now over there. And so I told him, I go, I'm going to invent a communism. I'm going to invent an even better communism that crushes their communism. And so what I'm telling you is that the way to fight communism is with communism. You don't fight communism with capitalism. That doesn't do anything. The way to fight communism is with communism. Communism is collective. And communism can really be anything you want it to be, right? Just because Karl Marx's version of communism was trash doesn't mean yours has to be. You can have a communism that's based on Jesus Christ. You can have a communism based on the white race. You can have a communist based on the principles of natural rights in the Bill of Rights. It can be anything you want it to be. Karl Marx isn't your boss. He doesn't get to tell you what communism is. Communism is whatever you say it is. And what I'm saying is the tactic of communism is a military tactic. So you could also call it fascism. Communism, fascism are really the same thing. It's funny because Antifa is a fascist group, right? So they use fascism to fight fascism. And the fascists were invented during the time of Mussolini, right? To fight who? The communists, who were fascist or communist. It's just, they're all the same thing. So, but what you have to understand is it's a tactic. You might say, I don't really like communism. I don't really like fascism. Well, then you don't want to fight. Because if you're going to fight in politics, you have to be collective. That's the only way to fight. Otherwise, you're going to get run over. And that's what's been happening to you your entire life. That's what's been happening to America its entire career. And you don't have to be communist forever. I'm not saying that if you join the White Communist Party, that then you always have to be a communist. No. Once we win, we can be something else. We can go back to being libertarians or something. But until we win, we're going to have to be communists. That's what I'm saying. So it's the White Communist Party, and our Führer, our leader, our chancellor is Jesus Christ, the light bearer. Jesus Christ, the light, symbolized as the sun, but only because that's a good symbol for God's light, which is the truth. So that's who our leader is. It's not Karl Marx. And our tactics are those of the Spartans. We're the Spartan communist style tactics. So now here's Vivek Ramaswamy. He says, the root cause of America's working class struggle is actually the federal government itself. Regulators hurt the very people they're supposed to protect. Downsizing the federal bureaucracy won't just be a civic achievement, it'll be an economic blessing for U.S. workers. See how they're trying to change the subject because they're getting skewered. They're getting skewered. Listen, Vivek Ramaswamy, I don't need your input. What are you even doing here? You're not one of us. You're not one of us. You're an invader. You're an invader and an occupier who basically got rich in America by scamming people with your dementia drug or your Alzheimer's drug, which was a total effing scam. So you're a scammer, and I bet you those drugs that you sold people actually hurt them. I bet it poisoned them. So you sold poison to get rich in America, and now you're going to tell us how to do things. We already know. We created this country. We know what it takes to fix it. We don't need you to tell us. We know what the problems are. We've always known what the problems are. And the problems have been persisting for a really long time. And that's why I'm saying the white Communist Party is the answer. Because if you listen to, like, say, I've been listening to these guys. I started out libertarian, Republican kind of thing. If you listen to these guys like Mark Levin or whoever, Rush Limbaugh, Ben Shapiro, all these conservative talk show hosts, they've led you into the situation where you've lost your country. You have to understand that. They were the ones speaking. They're the ones that had the platform speaking to you, leading the political groundwork all these years that brought you to this situation where you've lost your country completely. Why? Because they lied to you and told you that the way to fight the communists is with better ideas. Better ideas. Let me tell you something, man. If some lunatic is running around, attacking people like we've seen happen in recently with these knife attacks in Europe, better ideas aren't going to fix that, right? A police officer with a 45 caliber, with a high capacity magazine, that'll fix it, right? That'll fix the knife wielding maniac. That'll fix the lunatic who's crashing his cars into a Christmas market in Germany, for instance, which happened recently. That'll fix the guy who set a woman on fire in a subway, right? You fight violence by defeating it with violence. That's how you do it. There isn't another way. I'm sorry. Good ideas aren't going to fix it. Better ideas aren't going to fix it. You have to use force. You have to be willing to use force. Now, I'm not calling for violence. I'm just giving that as an example. I don't want you to do anything that's going to get you in trouble or me in trouble, because you and I are more valuable talking and organizing than we are getting arrested because we did something stupid. So if you are frustrated by what's happening, it's not a time to do violence. It's a time to organize and use your voice. Your voice is powerful. It's very powerful. Organizing is powerful. Boycotting is powerful. Where you spend your money is powerful. Pulling your money out of the banks is powerful. Buying from your friends in the white Communist Party is powerful. Not spending it on the billionaires and the Republicans and the Democrats and the progressives. See, spend it on the white Communist Party. That is the real power. It's what you would call. That's what I was saying. So fascism is a tactic more than it is a political ideology. And so communism can be anything you want it to be, because it's just a tactic to group up and employ force to overcome an opposing force. So the opposing force that we have is Elon Musk and his billions of dollars and all the people that he's paying to attack us and steal our property and our land and our government. And this is a good point that people have been putting out. So anyway, with this Vivek Ramaswamy, we don't need him to explain to us what's wrong with our country. We know it is. It's been caused by people. The same people that brought him in here are the people that caused the problems. We don't need his input. We know what a federal government. We know how to do all this stuff. We don't need Vivek Ramaswamy he thinks he knows all this stuff. It's like, it's kind of like those people that go, men are not women. It's like, duh. Everybody knows that, stupid. So Vivek Ramaswamy is the same way. He's like, I'm so smart. I know that when you spend too much money, it causes inflation. Blah. Yeah, everybody knows that, dumbass. Everybody knows that. It's like saying men aren't women. It's like, duh. You'll have whole what do you call it? Like these Republican radio shows where they go, I just want to say that a man is not a woman. Yeah, everybody knows that, you idiot. Everybody knows that. You have a multi-billion-dollar media platform, and you're spending it on that because you're arguing about that. Yeah, we know, dumbass. We already know that. Let's do something a little more effective. So what I'm saying is, you don't fight communism with capitalism, and you don't fight communism with better ideas. You fight communism with communism. You fight fascism with fascism, right? You fight fascism with fascism. And so if Elon Musk thinks he's going to, if he thinks he's going to take people from other countries and bring them in here as an army and give them our land and use them against us politically, that's exactly what they're doing. That's what the entire Great Replacement program is. It's about bringing in foreign people to any country where there are white European people living, to displace them, take their jobs, take their land, take their homes, take their shopping centers, take their states, take their governments, because it's a moneymaker. So the way to do that is through a collective, because they're a collective. It's a collective group doing it. They're working together as a group. See, that's called communism. That's a community. Any community is a community. So it's a collective group working together to screw you, right? So you need a collective group that you work together with to defeat them. And by defeat them, I mean Elon Musk. So I'm not talking about defeating the so-called government. The government is whatever we say it is. The government is what the government is. The government is just the lawmaking bodies, and then those are enforced by the police, and that's what a government is. The government is people make laws. The laws get enforced by the cops, and then there's courts to handle any disputes over the law. That's all a government is. It isn't anything else. The government isn't anything else. It's just those three things. So it can be whatever we say it is, because if we're the people, which we are, we the people of the United States, we're the government. So we're supposed to be the ones that are in charge of making the laws. So we have a representative that we get to make the laws. Now, do you have somebody representing you? No. Right? We elected Trump to represent us, but he's not really doing it yet. Maybe he's going to, because he hasn't taken office yet. But the concern I have with Trump right now is that Elon Musk has been doing all this stuff. And then he goes and gets in Trump's ear and he's like, you're on my side, right, bro? And so Trump is for right now saying, yeah, I'm on your side. I'm on your side. I'm on your side. And he's tweeting that he's on his side. So Trump is signaling that he's supporting Elon Musk against the American people who just voted him into office, against the millions and millions of us who thought that he was our hope. So right now it's a big bait and switch. Now, is Trump going to burn us when he gets in office, or is he going to burn Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk? I hope that he doesn't burn us and that he burns them. And then maybe we won't need the White Communist Party anymore. We can go back to being something else. But for now, we need the White Communist Party. We need the White Communist Party until we win. Until we win big. So let's take a look more at what. Here's what are some of the things that I've seen on here with Elon? Yeah, so Trump just posted this. So here's a guy. He says Donald Trump is now reposting Elon Musk's pro-immigration sentiments. So we're talking about more immigrants before mass deportations even start. This is not what we voted for. Trump retweeted on his Truth Social, but not on Twitter, but on his Truth Social, apparently, that Elon Musk says anyone of any race, creed, or nationality who came to America and worked like hell to contribute to this country will forever have my respect. America is the land of freedom and opportunity. Fight with every fiber of your being to keep it that way. Okay, so this is This is. Let me give you an example. Who invented that America? Because that's not the America that George Washington founded. So what happened to that America? Notice how they took down all of our statues. Notice how they took down all of our statues to. First, it started with Confederate statues, and then it turned into Thomas Jefferson and George Washington and everybody else, right? Because it's this group, it's this World Economic Forum group that's based in Davos, based in New York, and based in San Francisco that's taken over, and they want to just get rid of us. They want to get rid of the Europeans, and they want to get rid of the Americans. They want to get rid of the Canadians, particularly the white people. That's why we need a white communist party. So that's what they're doing, and that's what I'm saying. America was founded by George Washington and some other white people from England and also people from France. It was an English and French creation. And they founded it for themselves, for their own people, and for their progeny, their children and their grandchildren, their children, because they wanted a place where they could have their own land. The founding fathers did not create America for race mixing and all these different religions. Now they did say, because they were Masons, this was part of the philosophy, is they did say that anybody who it didn't matter what, in other words, it was in the Naturalization Act, the original one that said you can become an American. It said you had to be a free white person, and then you could be. It didn't matter what religion you are. So it was just it was colonies set up for white people, and if you were Protestant, that was fine. If you're a Lutheran, if you're a Quaker, if you're a Shaker, if you're a Catholic, if you're whatever, they didn't want it. They didn't want any more sectarianism among the race. They didn't want any more sectarianism among the race. That didn't mean they were going to import a bunch of Arabs in and tell them that they're Americans. That doesn't mean they're going to import a bunch of Indians in that are Hindus and say, well, we have to let them in because they never said that. They never said that. The worst thing they did was, well, the African slave stuff started before that, actually. So the African slave stuff started with the sugar business, which was run by the Elon, which was a wealthy Jewish family the Jews had a monopoly on the sugar business, and they were operating it here with the Jesuits in all the like Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Haiti, Florida. I don't know about Florida, Louisiana, that kind of area. And then they also had other stuff. They were taking all this territory with the French Canada and all this kind of stuff. So anyway, that's how we got slaves over here. It wasn't the average white Christian guy bringing slaves here. We came here to have our own land, and then we freed the slaves because we were against it. So that's what we did. We weren't this other group. This other group is the one that's now bringing in the Hindus from India and saying that we have to bring them in. That's the group. It's the slave master group. Elon Musk is the AI robot, flying killer robot. He wants to put chips in your brain. They want to merge human beings with AI computers, supercomputers, so they can totally control you as a slave. That's the goal of Tesla and SpaceX and all of it. Maybe there's other stuff involved, but ultimately, that's why they want to put chips in your brain. That's why they want to have AI. That's why they want to have self-driving cars, so they don't have to worry about people. And then the people they want to put the chips in their brains so that they can turn them into flesh slaves, robotic, half robot, half human slaves, robot slaves. That's what they want to do. That's what Elon Musk is. He's a front for all that. Now, is he really the power behind it? I don't know. Maybe there's other people, other forces that we can't see, and he's just their front man. That's kind of where I'm leading to believe on this subject. So, who else has been talking about this? Oh, here's this other guy. He says, how is China going to win if they are 92% Chinese with strict immigration laws? How is China going to win? Oh, yeah, because this is the Michaela Peterson gal. Let's just ignore this and let China win. The woke right. They're calling us the woke right. That's fine. I'm calling us the white communist party. That's what I'm calling us. I'm going beyond woke. I'm going to total communism. I'm calling for total white communism. Total white communism. That's what I'm calling for. Here's a guy called Frog on Twitter. He says, "This is hilarious. The dude who started the H-1B skilled immigration debate admits he's not even a good coder. He's just a corporate bullshitter." Let's hear what he has to say.
I was never a structured operator. I was not the person you would want to run the ships on or the trains on time. I had maybe reasonable design skills, but I was not the person you would trust to make something look gorgeous. Some people have an intuitive sense of design. I was not one of them. But what I think served me really well, and this was accidental, and it's only later that I kind of figured out, how to really sharpen it, was I found myself doing jobs where I could do the intersection of the three. So I would be in these product roles where I had to speak in public, where I'd write in public. And then I would, eventually I obviously found my way to venture where I would do a lot of writing in public and then I would meet people. It's part of the core job. And so I was never.
Okay, so this guy, so this is the guy that started this whole debate because apparently he heads up Trump's AI team now. He's not an American and he lives in London. That's how crap this whole Trump admin is coming in. That's why I'm saying people should go and boo Trump at the inauguration. I'm calling on the White Communist Party. Now, to become a member of the White Communist Party, you don't have to pay any money. You don't have to. All you have to do is be white and love Christ, the light of God, and want to go to war with your voice, nothing illegal, just your voice against Elon Musk because he's taken away my Twitter account. He's taken away my Twitter account, and so what I'm saying is we need to go to war using our voices. Using our voices and organize a resistance, not just using our voices, but getting control of the government and then shutting down all of Elon Musk's companies, taking Twitter from him and giving it to either Nick J. Fuentes or Andrew Torba or Andrew Anglin. I would say we should take away. I want to take away Elon Musk's Twitter. Just seize Twitter and give it to Andrew Anglin. That's my plan. That's my plan. So here's this other guy. He says, America is a country, not a jobs program for the third world. Exactly. This is from Dale Stark. America is a country, not a jobs program for the third world. So this is another thing I've noticed. If I just go out and I go out and I'm like walking around or going to go shopping or something, I go to this one place where I buy some food that I like, and it's really nice. The people there are super nice. And they do a good job, and the food is good. But here's the thing: they're all migrants, and everything everywhere is migrants. And the question is, why didn't we just give all these jobs to Americans? What was the point of America if it just became handing everything over to migrants? The point of it is it makes people like Elon Musk richer, and then it just displaces all the people. And the fact of the matter is, the white race is like one of the greatest things about humanity, and we're just throwing it in the trash. We have the most beautiful culture, the most beautiful cities, the most beautiful art, and it's just in music, and it's all being thrown in the trash for a bunch of people like Elon Musk that just wants to make billions of dollars and just shit on everybody. But so why is it when you go out and you're going to go out to a fast food place, for example? I don't eat fast food, but it's maybe where you live it's not all migrants. Where I live it's all migrants. All the shops are owned by migrants. Well, when I was growing up here, it was all white people's, and they all got displaced systematically by this group that Elon Musk works for. And I resent that. And it's like, well, then you should leave. Okay, where can I go? That's my question. Where can I go where I don't have to answer to people who want to displace my race, that want to kill off my race? You're like, well, you can go to Europe. I can't. Let me give an example. I was posting on Twitter, right? And the European Union sent out Twitter a message saying that my speech needs to be banned throughout the European Union. So I'm banned throughout the European Union, my speech on Twitter. I don't even have Twitter now, but that's what I'm saying. It's the same people running Europe that run here. And we're not allowed to talk. We're the native European race. We're not allowed to talk. We're not allowed to have our own countries. That's what I'm saying. And the only time that they even consider us is when they want us to go fight a war. Right now, it's with the Russians. And it's like, no, dude, no white person should be fighting the Russians for the European Union or for NATO, which is established after World War II to crush Germany, to impose this whole system that we're all living under in Germany. It was all this is being imposed on the white race on purpose. They're not imposing this. They might be imposing this on other races, but not like they're doing to us. I don't see China being ethnically cleansed. I don't see India being ethnically cleansed. I see Germany being ethnically cleansed. I see Ireland and England and America and Canada and Australia being ethnically cleansed of whites. I don't see white people doing that to anybody else. Now, maybe Bill Gates is trying to do that or some asshole like that. Fine. Hey, if you're black and if you want to join forces against somebody like Bill Gates, I'm with you. I'm with you. I have no problem with you. I have a problem with my leadership. Almost everyone on the list of the people who the white Communist Party hates, they're all white people. Almost all of them are white people, or they work for white people. If they're not white, they work for white people. Like Barack Obama works for the Annenbergs, or Vivek Ramaswamy works for some World Economic Forum thing. So yeah, and that doesn't mean I hate all non-white people. I like Tulsi Gabbard is one of the only people I've ever donated to a campaign, and she's a woman of color. So there you go. That's the only person I've ever donated money to a political campaign was Tulsi Gabbard. So anyway, that's my take. So what else do we got here? Getting a lot of DMs from Microsoft employees informing me they've been doing mass layoffs of Americans and then replacing the roles by contracting Cognizant, who then outsources the work to India. Oh, Cognizant's a company who then outsources to India. There you go. Stone Toss Comments says, we need more H-1Bs for Israel. Okay. I don't want to make this about Israel. I don't like Benjamin Netanyahu. I'm not a Zionist, but Israel. I was watching some video of the people over there getting bombed, and they looked like nice people. They were just normal folks. When I see the rabbis and stuff, those guys creep me the hell out. But just like the normal, most of these young people that are over there, they're from like Eastern Europe and stuff. They're whatever. I don't have a problem with them. What I have a problem with is like Ben Shapiro over here telling me I have to support that, or the Christian church is being taken over by Mossad and brainwashing everybody into believing that Jews are God's chosen. That's the kind of stuff I don't like. But I don't want to make a big thing of that. I've already told you about that. I've already told you about my feelings on that. Right. Let China win what? That's Sola. He's responding to Michaela Peterson. Let's just ignore this and let China win. Let me ask you a question. Why is it the Russians just developed these hypersonic missiles that are better than anything that we have in America if they don't have Indian super geniuses making them? How did they do that? How did the Russians do that? We were told that the Russians are just so sub-tarded, just like us Americans say that Elon Musk says we are. Yet they have let me tell you something. The Russians right now have a missile that they can fire anywhere in the world at hypersonic speeds that you can't shoot down. And they have a warhead for the missile that's not a nuclear warhead, but that is literally the same magnitude of force when it explodes as a nuclear bomb. Okay? I'm not making this up. The person who I heard explain this was Scott Ritter on a broadcast that he did, and he's a weapons inspector, and you may or may not like him, whatever. But what he explained was true about this weapon, and he knew exactly what it was, and he explained it perfectly. I can't explain it exactly, but there's something about this weapon that the Russians have created, this missile. Not only does it fly super fast and can bypass any kind of anti-missile systems, but it's the way it's arranged. I don't know how, I can't remember how Scott explained this, but the way the way that the missile strikes, it almost is like a meteor striking the earth, and so the explosion is like that of a nuclear bomb without having to use nuclear weapons. And that's what they have. That's what the Russians have. And you know who didn't invent that? Indians. They didn't even use Indians for that. They were just able to do that themselves. It's amazing, huh? Yeah, we over here, we're just whatever. Here's the thing. India is an interesting place, and Indian people are nice. That's not the point. It's not the point is whether they're nice. I'm not one of these people. You got these people that like Sean Hannity. We got to get all the criminals out, and the migrants are criminals. I don't care. This is not about whether they're criminals or not. See, they're not us. We're not them. They have a country. They have a government. They have a race of people. They can go live there. They speak the language. They're part of the culture. That's what we want. That's what the white Communist Party wants. We want our own people and language and culture and land, and that's what we want. It's not that these other people are bad. It doesn't matter if they're good or bad. We have good people. We have bad people. Our bad people, will deal with them the way we do. But we don't need to deal with our people and your people. You already have a government. If you're from India, you have a government. If you're from China, you have a government. You have land and a government. If you're from Korea, you have a government. If you're from Philippines, you have a government. If you're from Arabia or Iran or wherever you're from, you have a government. You know who doesn't have a government? White people. Our government's been hijacked by a group of criminals that want to kill us. That's the situation we're in. That's the situation we're in. Our governments have been hijacked by a group of people that want to kill us and bring in foreigners to replace us because they hate us. So, unlike you, if you're from Africa or you're from Iran or the Middle East or you're from wherever you're from, you likely have a government already. Maybe you don't like your government, but at least you have one, and you have a culture and you have a language, and everybody over there speaks it just like you do. We don't have that because our government's run by criminals that hate us and want to replace us with foreign populations because they want slave workers and they don't want us to exist anymore. That's what we're fighting. That's what Elon Musk is imposing on us with his operation. And that's why we started this operation on the Daily Stormer back in 2014, 2015, not even knowing that Trump was going to run for office, but backing him in the hopes that he would be able to do something about it. And so far, we haven't been successful, but we'll see what happens. So on that note, let's see if there's anything else interesting here on Twitter. Boomers will tell you to work hard like they did and then import 50 million people. Exactly. Boomers will tell you, you just got to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps and then import 50 million people from some other country to replace you. That's exactly right. They didn't have to do that. People who lived in my father's generation, they didn't have to worry about millions of competing for a job with millions of immigrants. No, they got the job. There were jobs available. Dude, things were so good in America. Things were so good between the 1940s and 50s and into the 60s and in the 70s and even in the 80s. But that's when it really started to go down because they really started ramping up this program of killing us all off. And it just accelerated through from the 80s into the 90s and into the 2000s. It's just been the momentum of wiping out the American people and the European people has just accelerated. So what else we got? Moscow. Daniel Cannon says, watch how fast we go from racist subtards to this nation's greatest asset when they can't win the World War III with H-1Bs. Exactly. Right. They're going to call on us to go fight World War III. And that's when we go, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Fuck you, man. Any white guy who's in the military, the U.S. military or any military for NATO or the European Union, you should leave. You should leave because they're giving your country away. They're just giving it away. And that's how you boycott them, by boycotting your service in the military. You should fight for your race. You should not fight to your wife or your kids are at home, and you've got your own. Well, you've got people who hijack your government, like Elon Musk, because the government's whatever we say it is. You've got people like Elon Musk giving away your country so that he can make more billions. And part of that is you have to go fight to defend BlackRock interests over in Ukraine or somewhere else. See, that's you need to boycott that. You need to boycott that, and you need that. That's our leverage against the U.S. Hijackers. Our leverage against BlackRock scum and the Rothschild scum and the Elon Musk scum is our military service. They depend on us. I've already said this before. The U.S. will never win another war as it stands because the Hispanics aren't going to win a war for America, and the blacks aren't going to do it, and the Indians aren't going to do it. And the reason why America was so powerful is because it had a huge, expansive, young, vibrant white population that spanned all of North America and all of Europe. And that was what was employed against Germany twice. With Russia, because Russia also had that. That's been deteriorating since then by the people who won the war. They thought everything was just replaceable. Because see, we demanded too much. We said, well, we want good jobs, and we want good houses, and we want to drive nice cars, and we want to have high-standard living. And they said, well, we'll just replace you then. And that's what they've been doing ever since. So that's the fight. There is no other fight. It's not about taxes or anything else. That's the fight. So that's the fight. Have a good night.